We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATM. We heard that this BHAGAVATM rejects all materially motivated religions, duties or goals, and I will read again because it is very nice, the second verse. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavat Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. We are all trying to remove our suffering and to get happiness. But it is not possible to totally remove suffering by any material development and solutions like this. No one can solve the suffering at the time of birth inside the womb. You are beaten, and during life, threefold miseries, and in old age, and while dying. No one can solve this. And also we are unhappy because we cannot get full satisfaction from sense gratification. So by any amount of material development, we cannot solve these problems of life. Only we have to transcend. But the Buddhists, they also understand this, that this life is suffering, so they want to finish their existence. And the Jnanis, they think that by merging themselves into impersonal formless Brahma, they will remove all suffering. But that is also not working. Because Jiva has that potential for loving relation with Krishna, so even merged in Brahmajyoti cannot be fully satisfied. Though there is no material suffering there, but cannot be fully satisfied. So the only way to completely remove all suffering is by accepting our eternal duty in relation to the Absolute, which is service to Him. Then we can be fully happy, and then there is no question of any suffering. So this Bhagavatam is directly and clearly speaking about this, about devotion, pure devotion to Krishna. And if someone will hear this Bhagavatam and apply, then the Supreme Lord will be established within his heart. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukatamrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful man, relish SRIMAD BHAGAVATM, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. When peacock in India will little taste that mango, then that mango will become more sweet than otherwise. That is one system there. So here also, because Shukadev, it came from him, that Bhagavatam became even more sweeter. Here Srila Sai Maharaj says the Vedas are compared to the desired tree because they contain all things knowable by man. They deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual realization. The Vedas contain regulated principles of knowledge covering social, political, religious, economic, military, medicinal, chemical, physical, and metaphysical subject matter, and all that may be necessary to keep the body and soul together. Above and beyond all this are specific directions for spiritual realization. Regulated knowledge involves a gradual rising of the living entity to the spiritual platform, and the highest spiritual realization is knowledge that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all spiritual tastes or rasas. So Vedas, you will find everything about material necessities and also spiritual necessities, that Varna, and Dharma, and so many things there. But now it is lost. Something is better than nothing. We can try to apply Vedic principles in both for our maintenance and for spiritual. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the process for spiritual realization for this age, and also how to attain the highest spiritual necessity. Because this human life is meant for this, as we will hear soon. Human life we got for this, to rescue ourselves from material existence and to attain the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. That is our constitutional position, and that is what will satisfy us. Noimishe nimisha kshetre rishaya shaunakadaya satram svargaya lokaya sahasra samavasata. Once, in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shaunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Ta ekada tu munayah pratar huta hutagnaya sat kritam sutamasinam paprachur idam adarat. One day, after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem to Srila Sutta Goswami, the great sages made inquiries with great respect about the following matters. Rishaya Uchu. Tvaya khalu puranani seti hasani chanagha akyatani apyaditani dharma shastrani yani uta. The sages said, respected Sutta Goswami, you are completely free from all vice. You are well versed in all the scriptures famous for religious life and in the Puranas and the histories as well, for you have gone through them under proper guidance and have also explained them. He is a disciple of Shukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami. So he is well versed in all the scriptures. Yani Veda Vidam Shreshto Bhagavan Badarayana Anyacha Munaya Sutta Paravara Vido Vidu. Being the eldest Vedantist, O Sutta Goswami, you are acquainted with the knowledge of Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Godhead, and you also know other sages who are fully versed in all kinds of physical and metaphysical knowledge. You remember when Baladev Prabhu came to Naimisharanya, at that time Roma Harshan Sutta was sitting there because these sages requested him to speak Puranas. But he did not stand up when Baladev came. Baladev is Guru and also Bhagavan. So Baladev saw that he is proud. So he is unfit to speak the glories of Supreme Lord. So he killed him, and then the sages, they said, actually we requested him. So now what, please solve this. Then Baladev said that father is reborn as his son. So his son, Sutta Goswami, will speak the Puranas, Bhagavatam, and by the authorization, by the blessing of Baladev. That is why all knowledge is in him. So he is fit to give that. Vetatvam saumya tat sarvam tattvatastat anugrahat bruyuh snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyam apyuta. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Guru Kripa is, our Gurudev said, Nimnaga, always goes down. Like water always goes down naturally, Guru Kripa always goes down to a surrendered disciple. One who is submissive, surrender, and with service attitude, and he is serving, then by the blessing of Gurudev, he can have everything. So he scientifically learned by realization. He got realization by the grace of his gurus. Tatranja sayushman bhavata yat vinishchitam punksham ekantata shreyas tannah samshitum arhasi. Please, therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. Prayenalpa yushah sabhya Kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrutaha. This verse is also important to understand. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So we have to consider the situation when giving medicine. So in Kali Yuga, it is like this. Unlucky means bad fortune, bad karma is there, and we want to do something, but we cannot do like this. So all these things are there in Kali Yuga. Bhurini bhuri karmani shrotavyani vibhagashah atah sadotrayad saram samudritya manishaya bruhi badraya bhutanam yanatma suprasidati. There are many varieties of scriptures, and in all of them there are many prescribed duties, which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select the essence of all these scriptures and explain it for the good of all living beings, that by such instruction their hearts may be fully satisfied. Our Gurudev also said, in Kali Yuga, our lives are very short, there is no time. Directly you go to Bhagavatam, you will get everything. Because here there is the essence of all scriptures, and very clearly. Suta janase badram te bhagavan sattva tampati devakyam vasudevasya jato yasa chikirshaya. All blessings upon you, O Suta Goswami. You know for what purpose the personality of Godhead appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. Tannah shushrushamananam arhasi anganu varnitum yasya avataro bhutanam kshemaya cha bhavaya cha. O Suta Goswami, we are eager to learn about the personality of Godhead and his incarnations. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters or acharyas. For one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Teachings imparted by previous acharyas. For one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Our Gurudev told that his Guru told him, you should not speak anything out of your own mind. You should hear what Guru speaks, and bona fide Vaishnavas and Shastra. You have to hear with great attention and devotion. Then you should repeat that, what you heard. That will purify you. Should not speak, because now we are not realized souls. So we have no realization that we can directly speak Harikatha. One who knows Krishna personally, he can directly speak. But if we have no such realization, then we have to do this Shravan and Kirtan of what we heard. Then that will purify us and we can get that realization. We are sadhaks now, practitioners. So our speaking of Harikatha is a form of our devotional practice for our own benefit, to purify our mind and to get exclusive one-pointed devotion to Krishna. That is, but those who are realized souls, they are directly speaking for the satisfaction of Krishna, that is their service. They are not in sadhana, they are in siddha avastha. Like Shukadev Goswami and Vyasadeva, after meditating, he played this pastime, he meditated, he realized everything, then he wrote Bhagavatam. But we don't have, so we have to accept from authoritative sources and repeat that. Not imagine or change or like that, or that. That is practice. For one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. One may say, I have no realization how I can speak. You have to speak what you have heard from Guru, Vaishnava and Shastra. Apannah sangsritim ghoram ya nama vivasho grinan tatah sadhyo vimucheta yad bibheti swayam bhayam. This is also very famous verse. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. We have example of Ajamil. And not with that intention, he was calling his son, yet he got that liberation. But in his case, there were no offenses in his heart to Vishnu and to Vaishnava. That is why Nama Abhas was there. But if we have some, then we cannot get that Nama Abhas. We have to rectify those offenses by engaging in the service of Krishna. Then gradually we can get. But here it means freed immediately by unconsciously, that is one who can chant Namabhas. Yat pada sangshrayah suta munayah prasha mayana sadhyah punanti upasprishta swardunyapo nusevaya. O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. Pure devotees, they are more powerful, more merciful. Although Ganga is also pure devotee, but depends how we approach. If we fully surrender, then we can get from Ganga. And also we sing that song. If one touches Ganga, that is respectfully, then he will be purified. But if someone only sees a Vaishnava in whose heart Krishna is manifest, he will also immediately be purified just by darshan. So they have that sanctifying power. Kova Bhagavatastasya Punya Shlokedya Karmana Shudi Kamona Shrinuyat Yasha Kali Mala Paham. Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Tasya Karmani Udarani Parigitani Suribhi Bruhinach Shraddha-dhananam Lilaya Dadhata Kala. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narad sing of them. Please therefore speak to us, who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs, means Krishna, in his various incarnations, that is, avatars. Atha kyahi harer dhiman avatara kata shubha lila vidadhata swairam ishwarasyatma maya. O wise Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by his internal powers. They are not material something activities. That is why they have this purifying effect. Vayam tu na vitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yat shrinvatam rasa jnanam swadu swadu pade pade. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. Devotees, they get that relish. They don't like any worldly TV and this thing. Today I heard one example from Bangladesh. One devotee's mother is very sick, like almost like dying, cannot do much, only lying like this. So I thought for the service, already some days before, I recorded on WhatsApp some Chaitanya Charitamrita verses, and also this Lila Kirtan which we are, and she's very happy to hear, mother. And others, they wanted to give some TV serial to somehow that she can spend time, but she said no, I don't want. But that recordings, she's very happy to hear, because devotee has no relish for these worldly topics. He is relishing this Leela of Supreme Lord, his Nam, Rup, Gun, Leela. Also, Gurudev gave that example because when Ishwara Puri was serving Madhavendra Puri, when he was very old, Madhavendra is about to disappear from this world. So he played the pastime of sickness and old age, this cannot do. So Ishwar Puri used to serve him everything. Cleaning his stool, urine, cooking for him, washing, everything he did. That is one thing. But another thing, he would always recite Shastra to him. Krishna Lila and different Shastras, and do Nama Sankirtan and everything. That service we have to do also. Our Brihad Bhrati Maharaj also used to do for Gurudev this, give the Shastra recitation and that. So when I heard, I thought, let me do this seva, and it is appreciated and shown that there is no taste for other things. And that old lady, she was in Calcutta, not very near to the mat, and the weather was very bad. Big storm, no one came to the mat that evening to hear Harikatha, but she came from little far off, an old lady, and she was hearing that Harikatha, and after Harikatha, our Gurudev asked her, how is it that you came, no one came, and it's very bad weather and all this? Then she said, yes, I know, but I was at home and they were all the time speaking only about worldly topics. All the time. I became suffocated because of that. I could not remain. It was very difficult for me to remain all the time there speaking that things, so I could not remain. I was feeling suffocated, so I came to hear Harikatha. Then Guru said, yes, your Atma is awakened now. You feel the necessity of Atma. Because Gurudev told, sometimes some householders, they come to him and they say, we have desire to come to the mat and hear Harikatha, but we are always so busy. You are ascetics, you are chanting Haribol, 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 and you get something and you can leave. So it is easy for you, but we have so many duties and responsibilities, all this. So although we have desire, but we find no time. Then Gurudev explained that is lame excuse. Lame excuse. Because how many times you eat per day? Minimum 3 times or 4 times. You eat? Yes, we eat. You take time, although you are very busy, you take time to eat. Why you eat? Why you take time? Then they say because that is necessary. If we don't eat, then we become weak, we cannot work, we cannot live, so that is necessary. So Guru say, yes, same thing. Necessity is the mother of invention. Now you are misidentifying with this body, so you feel the necessity of the body. But when your Atma will awaken, the necessity of Atma is Paramatma. Atma are drashtavyo, shrotavyo, mantavyo, nididhyasitavyo in Upanishad. Necessity of Atma is Paramatma, not food and these things. That is necessity of the body. But for Atma it is Paramatma. Without Paramatma, Atma cannot be satisfied. So when Atma is awakened, then we feel that necessity. When we feel that necessity, we make invention how we can get that. We will make some time. We will anyhow we will, like we are busy, but we take time to eat. We somehow make that time. So like that for hearing Harikatha, for chanting like this, those who are awakened, they will find a way how they can get. But if we are giving excuses, that is only lame excuse. It is not actually the fact that there is no time and all this. No. We don't want. That is the actual thing. Because Maya always gives us engagement. Also, we may think in future when this will happen, I will have my pension like this. Then a whole day I have time, a whole day I will chant. But when the pension comes, then we are not chanting whole day. Maya gives so many engagements all the time. So we have to sacrifice something in order to serve Krishna. Otherwise, There will never be like a time that you will be free. No, you can never be free. Maya always has a program for you 24 hours. Every day, Maya program is there. There is no free time. So we have to sacrifice some to serve Krishna. Gurudev said, although you are very busy, you are working, but you say to your employees or your employer, you say, now I have to eat something. So we don't work 24 hours. We take time for this. So like that, we will find a way how to find time to serve Krishna when we will feel that necessity. So they have taste. Those who are awakened, so they have taste, and those who are little awakened, they will have faith and understanding that this is beneficial, so they will also take. So they are, once when we were in Calcutta with Gurudev, then some Slovenian devotees, we had darshan with Gurudev, then Gurudev explaining, then he said, I'm happy there are some awakened souls in Slovenia looking at me and all there. Then I said, Gurudev, only when you come to Slovenia, then there is awakened soul there. The Guru said, smiled, said, no, there is a degree also, degree in everything. How much one is awake or how much he's sleeping, there is a degree. So you heard something. So there is a degree of wakefulness and sleep also. And like Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama, so many stages. So those who are in Shraddha stage, Sadhu Sangha, different stages. So also you will find in Bhakti Sandarbha of Jiva Goswami, Raganuga Bhakti, Raganuga sadhana comes with taste, spiritual taste, greed for that. There are no other desires. So such devotees, they can practice. But someone who did not yet develop taste, but if he has great respect for Raganuga, by association of Raga devotee, he can also start as much as he can along with Vaidhi Bhakti, and gradually he can come to that platform where he will naturally do that with taste. Then actual Raganuga will start to follow the Ragatmikas, not depending on scriptural arguments why we should serve. You will serve out of your taste. You will have liking to do it. Like that relishing, but before that it is like a medicine. So there it is mentioned by Jiva Goswami that there are two types of rules and regulations, what is to be done, what is not to be done. One is related to dharma, worldly dharma, like that varna, ashram dharma in this. According to your varna, what you have, what is your duty, what is prohibited for you, that type of, and what is sin, all this is there. So those who did not awaken faith in Krishna, they are to follow those rules and regulations for gradual upliftment. Those who have awakened faith in Krishna, for them the rules of devotion are applicable. That is, all the rules and regulations which are giving us this remembrance of Krishna, that is the rule and you should never forget him. That is prohibition. So all the rules are made to achieve this goal of remembering Krishna. So you have Vaidhi for those. These rules are rules for devotion, not for Varna Ashram Dharma, for devotion. So those who don't have taste, already taste, they have to follow these rules of devotion. They are meant to bring satisfaction to Krishna, and those prohibitions are offenses which will displease Krishna. So all devotees, they have to follow these rules. They may not follow those rules, but these rules, but those rules will automatically be followed in purpose if someone will follow these Vaidhi Bhakti rules. But he must have faith in devotion. So, but those who are Raga Nugas in taste level, they are, Jiva Goswami said, they are naturally doing all this. Why? Because their only target is to satisfy Krishna and not to displease him. So they are naturally following this. It is not that they are against, like we are Raganuga, we have nothing to do with any rules and regulations. We are Raganuga. But the point is, they are naturally following all. Because their target is satisfaction of Krishna. And these rules and regulations are made for this purpose. So naturally they are following. Our Gurudev also said, you will find in Shuddha Bhakti, that he said, Raganuga devotees, they also follow all the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, but with great love. With that relation, with great love, they are following. And that natural taste is there. But they are not against. So if you see someone presenting himself as a Raganuga, and because of that, he is against Bhakti rules, or that is useless or whatever, then you can know he is not a Raganuga. How one who is attached to Supreme Lord, who only wants to satisfy him, how he can be against something which is meant to regulate a person to serve Krishna, to satisfy Krishna? How he can be against? It is not possible. There is some problem here. Jiva Goswami said they are naturally following. And those who did not yet develop taste, they may have attraction for Raganuga based on that association with Raga devotee, and they may do something for which they are qualified, but at the same time they have to follow all these rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti, because they are not on the taste level, so that they will automatically do. So they have to follow this. And even those who have attained the taste and they are naturally doing, they will also externally do all these Vaidhi forms with great love in order to set example for others. Unless like someone is like Avadhut or like Paramahamsa, he has no this service of helping others as a charge job, then they are doing in a different way. They don't care much. But those who are in preaching, acharyas, they are following all this for the sake of being example of others. Because otherwise they who are not in that level, they will imitate. That is why Prabhupada did not want his disciples to go very near to Banshidas Babaji Maharaj, because he was in that Paramahamsa mood all the time. So sometimes he did certain things which we ordinary sadhakas will tend to misunderstand. We will think this is wrong, but we are not able to comprehend why he's doing that. And he's not doing anything to dissatisfy Krishna. But we are now in certain level of understanding what is proper, what is improper, what is for Krishna's satisfaction, what is not. And we try to, if we try to judge by our calculation, and for the stage where we are, about him who is totally above that, but purpose is same, he's serving Krishna, then we may commit offense. That will be wrong. But if someone is not in that level and he is taking that as an excuse, no, I'm Paramahansa, I have nothing to do with any rules and regulations, and they are doing immoral activities, then that will be detestable. So this was happening. That is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, he's a Paramahansa stage, but he intentionally took sannyas to be example of someone who is regulated by Shastra, so that he will not do any immoral activities in the name of Raganuga and these things. And to show the transcendental glory of real Babaji, his Guru. Although he's from, he does not need this, but we need. So he has to be example and we have to be regulated, and then that will be beneficial. Otherwise, jumping to Paramahansa stage, Babaji, and not being on that stage and doing immoral activities, then this apasampradayas, everything, then people are deprived of actual teaching of Mahaprabhu. So they relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. And because they are having that relish, they have no taste for any worldly topics unrelated to the service of Krishna. Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava atimartyani bhagavan gura kapata manusha. Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balaram, played like a human being. And so, masked, he performed many superhuman acts. They are not human, they play like human. But sometimes they show some superhuman acts which no human being can do. So we are not God. We cannot lift Govardhan hill and this thing. Kalim agatam agyaya kshetresmin vaishnave vayam asina dirga satrena katayam shakshana hare. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead, and in this way perform sacrifice. I forgot to tell in previous topic that verse is there. Shrutin Smritim Puranadi Vidipina Aikantiki Harer Bhakti Utpatevas. That verse. If one, in the name of one-pointed devotion to Krishna, does not follow the rules and regulations of Shruti, Smriti and Puranas, then that sort of so-called devotion to Krishna will only be disturbance to society. So in relation to this, Jiva Goswami explained all these things about different types of rules and who is following what and when and why and what is not necessary for human like this. So we have to be sincere and practice according to where we are for our upliftment, not to imitate or like this in the name of something because we are not ready to serve Krishna. Tvam nach sandarshito dhatra dustaram nistitirshatam kalim sattva haram pungsham karna dhara ivar navam. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities in human being. This is true. By the mercy of Krishna, we can meet his man, his real devotee, his personal associate. And he will bring us to Supreme Lord. Like in the case of Dhruva, he was calling Supreme Lord, then Supreme Lord sent him Narad Goswami. Then Narad Goswami gave him the procedure how he can attain Supreme Lord. Only one verse in this chapter. So, Bruhi Yogeshware Krishna, Brahmanya Dharma Varmani, Swam Kashtam Adunopete Dharma Kam Sharanam Gata. Since Shri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the Master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. This is important point. In Krishna, all religious principles he can inspire. But when he disappears, he will invest in someone or somewhere, because out of his mercy, always someone has to be here. So who is that will be revealed by him. Like that, when Gurudev disappears, he will reveal where we can get help for our progress. He reveals to those who are sincere, because someone is always here, because Krishna is merciful. But if we have that desire, then we can get. There is no any time in this world that Krishna is not merciful. Krishna is always merciful. His mercy is always there. But the thing is, we don't want to serve Krishna. That is why we are complaining, this is not there, this is everything is bad, this is bad, all these things. Because we actually don't want to serve Krishna. When we have that desire, we get that help from him. Nahi kalyan krit kaschit durgatim tata gachati. Krishna says in Gita, one who sincerely desires eternal welfare, he will never be deceived, he will never be degraded. I am in his heart, I know what he wants. If he wants, I reveal to him where to go, everything. Because he's not cheater. If I'm cheater, I will be cheated. I'm cheater because I desire other things. That is cheating. So other cheaters are existing because I'm cheater, so I have to be cheated. But if I'm sincere for eternal welfare, then I will not be cheated. Krishna will provide proper guidance. So it depends on us, not that we are all the time judging about others who is, no. I have to see myself, what I want. Then you can get. Tomorrow we will hear.